Well, I do think in life, and my attitude to life is like you can do anything you want to do. Like it's your decision. I spoke to the Irish coach at the time, and she had said to me, "You haven't played soccer in 6 years. You have absolutely no chance." Basically, and I said, "That's fine. I'll die trying though." And no worries.
You know what I love about you? You're just a go-getter.
Yeah, there's so much to be said for just having an optimistic view on life, because I think life does need to be light.
Sarah Rowe, how are you?
I'm good.
Hey,
Dyl.
good to see you.
Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time.
It's been a minute.
It has been at least 3 years.
Do you reckon?
I reckon.
Shit.
I think the last time I came into these offices, there was 2 people working for you, and now there's like 10 or more.
I was 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've grown a lot since then.
Hey, we're all family here, but it's good to have you back, and been admiring from afar. You know, when you like, because we're on the day of social media and that you sort of feel like you sort of see people all the time anyway. So like I don't feel as disconnected as it sounds.
Yeah, it's like as if you kind of know what's going on in people's lives if you are proactive in that space.
Yes.
And you're kind of like, yeah, I've been a part of that.
Yeah, like I felt like I was watching you I felt like I was a member of that soccer team, and I should have. I've just escaped my name. The Melbourne City.
No, close.
Storm.
I was with Storm.
I just don't know the names of the teams. What are they called?
You're not a soccer
Victory,
fan.
that's it.
No, earlier it was Victory. So I played for Victory 3 years ago, and then I went to Central Coast Mariners this year. So I moved to Sydney, lived up there, and then drove down to the Central Coast basically every day for training. Just wanted a bit of a change of life.
That's a mate. Like you are. You know what I love about you? You're just a go-getter. Like you are so just engaged in life, which I love. And I think that it's something that sometimes as Australians that we, live in this country that's a bit of an island, it's away from the world, and there isn't that inherent like ability to just jump on a plane and go somewhere and do other things. Whereas for you, like going from Victory to Central Coast Mariners, you've already flew here from Ireland. So like that's just not even a small thing to do. You just do it.
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm always like in a rush to do, or I'm always like patiently in a rush to do the next thing. And when I feel like I have dead time in my life and I don't feel like I'm progressing in something, which is like the AFLW off season is 6 months long. So in that time, I pull my hair out and being like, what am I doing? Am I progressing in my life? And what can I do to fill that time, essentially? So I think it always means I'm kind of always searching. Sometimes I try to be like, here, just relax in your space, just chill out. And something Australia has taught me is work-life balance is important, and you guys do it really well over here. Whereas in Ireland, we're very work hard, play hard. So that dead time to me is like, where can I go and what can I do in that time? So I'm one of those people who's always reflecting and going like, where's my next move? So people think sometimes that my thought process and my decision making is completely sporadic and random. And I'm like, meanwhile, I do sit at home with a notepad at times being like, what do I want? Is this aligned with what I'm after? What feeling am I chasing? And then kind of make decisions based off that. But soccer is a sport that I've always grown up with. So I've always felt like I want to go, and after going to play at Melbourne Victory 2 years ago, I only played half the season. I was like, I just want to do a full A-League season. We end up winning the Premiership.
So cool. Amazing.
Yeah.
With decisions, like you make so many decisions, like going from AFLW to then going playing A-League to, moving countries, moving states, all those things. Like who do you consult the most on those things? Like are you really close with, family back home to still throw like ideas around of what you're doing? Or do you think that realistically like you are the master of your own sort of future and like just do it by yourself?
Well, I do think in life, and my attitude to life is like you can do anything you want to do. Like it's your decision. Like you can live in Italy tomorrow if you want. Like you can get up and pack your bags and go. So I've always had that attitude to life, but I have to compliment my parents on having that attitude, because my mum stays at home in Ireland, and I have 2 sisters at home, and my dad and my mum and dad are together. But Dad has always travelled the world. So he's goes between China, Australia and Ireland. And he's always been like, don't worry about it. Like, Ireland's only 24 hours away. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's actually just a day. Like, you can get on a flight and go tomorrow. So I've always had that attitude. And when I consult with him, which is often what I do, he's always like, if you really want to do it, do it. And then when I come with random like ideas, which I did in COVID, I came with a lot of random ideas, and he'd be like, you've lost your mind. You have completely lost your mind. You've way too much time on your hands, and I think you need to reassess. And then I'd be like, fair enough. So, because I know that he's always like, of the attitude, go. And Mum was always like, you always have had a mind of its own, and when you want to do something, you are just doing it no matter what, so we can't stop you. So, but they always say go, and then I'm challenged by, do I really want it? So generally, I think my dad is probably the person that I trust the most with confiding in. I think a lot of other people, when I come to them with these ideas, like, that's impossible, or like, that's crazy, why are you doing that?
Would you, like, what you've sort of achieved to date now, like looking back, was it, you know, if you go back to yourself as a young girl in Ireland, would you be surprised, or were you almost just like, yeah, no, I just assumed this would turn out like this?
I think in lots of ways, like, everything's been really... Like, there's been so many sliding doors moments, but firstly, I would have never thought I'd be in Australia playing AFLW, a sport I never knew existed. I probably thought I would only do a year. I wouldn't stay for 7 years. I'm coming into my 8th season now. I think there's so many twists and turns in the road, and I think that the one thing in life that's certain is change, and getting and becoming comfortable with change is something that I'm always trying to master, because I think, like, life is changing all the time. So I feel like I try to get really comfortable in that space. And particularly when I'm transitioning sports, it's a really difficult process the first couple of weeks, because it's like you go back to being a beginner again, and you're really bad at it, and it challenges so many parts of you, like your ego, your pride, like you question whether you're good enough, like whether you actually can do it. But because I've done it a few times and I've been used to changing between Ireland, Australia, and different cultures and stuff, I'm like, nothing is permanent. It's all moving in time, and it's all you're going to come out the other side. So I think I've gotten really comfortable with the feeling of change. So
talk us through before this all started, like the cross codes, playing Gaelic and soccer back in Ireland, and then sort of what levels you got to in that sense, and then how the opportunity of AFLW even sort of came apart. Like, I know there's a lot in that, but just trying to piece it all sort of together. Were you just playing cross-code as a junior and just developed and continued to do that sort of route? Yeah, so I was playing soccer and Gaelic for probably since I was like 8 or 9 years of age. And this is, sorry to jump in, but so are they both winter sports? Like, did they cross over the seasons? Yeah, cross over all the time. So you play 2 games on a weekend? Yeah, easily, if not 3. So like, it would just be constant that, like, there was never a thing of managing someone's body. I was a kid, I just did what I did. So I was playing soccer, so I might have a soccer game on a Saturday and a Gaelic game on a Sunday, and sometimes they did clash, and then I would have to pick which was most relevant or most important at the time, which always left me in trouble with one team. So it always felt like I was kind of letting down someone. But at the same time, I felt like both sports really complemented each other. So yeah, I basically was playing soccer since the age of kind of 8 or 9, then started playing with Ireland when I was 13, and then played up until I was 22. And all the while I was still playing Gaelic football. Now, my soccer coaches never approved of me playing Gaelic football at the same time, and my Gaelic coaches never wanted me to play soccer. So I was always caught in the middle of that. But then there was one year where I decided, I was like, I'm going to fully focus on soccer. And that year we got to the European finals, and it was when I was under 19, and that was probably one of the biggest highlights of my career. We beat England, Spain, we justified the odds in everything that we did. We travelled all around Europe for training camps. I was in school. It was like such a novelty. Then I was like, right, I want to win an All-Ireland with Mayo. I'm going to put soccer aside for a year, and I'm going to play Gaelic football for a year. Got to the All-Ireland final. There was 50,000 people there at the time. It was the fastest growing women's sport in the world at the time. And someone from Australia happened to be watching the game. So then I get an email after that. I was out for my...
We lost marginally.
I thought maybe just because you left it out. I was assuming that's what happened.
Yeah. We left out that part.
Yeah.
I was all the same. I was still celebrating,
Yeah.
and I get this email. So I was had a couple of drinks in my system, and I was reading this email, being like, showing it to one of the girls, being like, "What's this about?" Like a big long thing about AFLW, and I was like, I just don't even know what that is. Anyway, we'll resume and get back to that when we get back to our working week. And sent it to Dad and was like, "What do you think of this?" Then I was like,
Did you know of AFL because like of other Gaelic?
just international rules. The only thing I'd heard of and seen. So that was all that was visible to me. And then I was like, oh, look, it could be cool, because I had at one point I did consider playing going on scholarship to play soccer for my college years. So I was like, to live
in the US or something?
in the US, yeah. So to go and play somewhere else in Australia, I was like, it sounded like really exotic to me. So I was like, this sounds really cool. I'll just say yes, figure out how after kind of thing. So came over to the managing company at the time that I was with. Were like, come over and view the 6 clubs at the time that were in Victoria. So that was how it came about then, and walked into Collingwood, went to Western Bulldogs, Geelong, couple more, North Melbourne. So basically got to view all the
Did they fly you over? Like the AFL flew you over?
The AFL my management company flew me over.
Wow.
Yeah, it was madness at the time, because there was
Like
only
the Irish management or the Australian
management. Irish management. Yeah. So it was madness when I got over. I was like, I couldn't believe that there was like such a big world outside my own, that maybe I might do this. And then I just basically said yes straight away. Collingwood was the one that stood out to me the most. Nick Maxwell and Jess Berger were the two who interviewed me and showed me a presentation, and I was just I was blown away by it. And then I was like, I looked at the game and I used to think like, firstly, I have no idea of the rules. Secondly, surely the game can be played a bit cleaner than what it is, and surely you can move the ball like this, because I was thinking like Gaelic football. So I was really challenged by the game plans in AFLW and why we did things the way we did, and didn't understand it for a long time. Took me like the whole organised chaos of it all.
Yeah. What was the hardest part? Just like the general ball flow or the rules, or like just...
Like I wouldn't understand why you would ever kick long down the line to a contest.
Yeah.
Like that makes no sense to me in terms of Gaelic football.
Yeah.
Like I would be like, there is a free player somewhere. We'll find it.
Yeah.
And then we just work the ball.
I think a lot of people might actually share that idea with you. Yeah.
So there was loads of things like that. That's why we are craving for the international rules to happen at some point, because us Irish think that if we played against the Australians, we wouldn't play it the same way. We think that we would play it more like Gaelic football, a bit more uncontested, and we think we could move the ball quicker. But now we've never put it into practice. This is all our imagination at work. But we still believe that we could play it a different way.
It'd be pretty sick to see that, because there's obviously a lot of like female AFLW players from Ireland now. Like how many? Cora Staunton, who is, from all reports, one of the absolute OGs.
Yeah.
Like one of the OGs.
So she played in my team at home.
She's in your team.
Mayo. Yeah. So she was the first one out here. Now this year there's 39 active in the league, and then there's a couple of inactives, but 39 playing this year, which is incredible to think. Like, that's what we were having an argument on Tagged last week to say, will cross-coders be a thing in the next couple of years, or will the draft and the talent coming up in Australia and the pathways outweigh that they won't look for cross-coders anymore? What do you think?
I think that there's always going to be cross-coded. I think there's always going to be Irish players coming. Like you've seen, it still happens now. Like some of the best players in the game have at their right time have been Irish footballers. Like I still remember Pierce Hanley, like at the top of his game, how good he was. Like random one to throw in there, but I just loved watching him play. Zach Tui, obviously one of my absolute probably all-time favourite Irishmen. Like he was amazing. You look at someone like Conor McKenna, who's done what he's done at Essendon, and then he's gone, back home, then to Brisbane. Look at Mark Keane this year. Like, did he make the All-Australian? I think, was he All-Australian fullback, or he just missed out?
Just missed out, I think.
Like, that was amazing. So, I think that there's definitely, there's always still going to be the draft and natural Australian talent coming through, but it's I think that it's not just Ireland. You look at like what some of the amazing young African players have been able to do coming into the game as well. Yeah, I think it's just going to get more and more international as it goes.
Yeah, definitely. And it's even more appealing for the female game just because you can literally, because the season is so short, you can do 6 months here and then you can kind of go home for a bit. Whereas I think the men, when they sign over here, they are actually committing a couple of years of their lives to here.
Yeah. So for that as well, then, like, obviously, David always come such a long way in the sense of like the season and the length. You know, it's gone from 8 weeks to 12 weeks. And the development, I'm sure, has been immense in the time that you've been in the game over the 8 years. But for you personally, have you enjoyed the flexibility that it's allowed you to do cross-court, like play both? Or would you, if AFLW was a full season thing, would you be like, no, I'll just commit to this?
Well, being the way I am, I probably do love the flexibility of it. And I probably do love the fact that it's changed all the time and that it allows me to play other sports. It also allows me to progress in my career outside sport, and it gives me that balance of being like, you know, not just a footballer and like I do so many other things, and it makes me feel like I'm balanced. And coming from Ireland and with Gaelic football being amateur, it was like everyone worked throughout the day and everyone trained at night. So I've always been taught to say that your career is most important first and that sport won't get you everywhere. So that's always what I've been taught. But like obviously since I came over here, I was like, roles are reversed. Sport is my priority and my career is second until it's not. So I think it's really suited me in that way, and definitely grateful for the fact that, you know, when all is said and done, hopefully, you know, I have my degree, I have a lot of experience in the outside world, and that it mightn't feel like as much of a transition. Whereas I do find when you look at the men's players and like how much they've given to sport and at the cost of what, and when they finish sport, like where they have to start then for their next stage of their career, it's like they've no leg up really there unless they've studied throughout their career. So I do think in ways the female players will be grateful for that in time.
Yeah, I think that there's pros and cons in both, definitely, and I have no doubt that the AFLW needs to get to a point where people paid full time and put more time into everything, like training professional athletes. As you do, you need to be training 24/7. But I think you don't want to lose that part of still developing things off field. And I'm not talking about men or women here. I'm just talking about in general. You always, the biggest thing I think for footy on the men's side when I was playing is, even though you are full-time and a lot of people are getting remunerated really well, which obviously needs to happen across both codes, but the lack of like time management of like AFL players, like in the men's game, they could be doing so much more to benefit themselves outside of the game. But I think for some reason we go, nah, full-time, I'm not going to focus on anything else. And some people don't want to, some people just don't do it. But yeah, it's an interesting balance. I think like in the men's side, they need to realise you need to be doing more stuff.
Yeah.
And then in the women's side, it's like make it more legitimate for that full-time pay, but also don't then just discard everything else that is on the other side of it.
Yeah, definitely. I think that there's definitely some men who are doing loads, but it's just a time thing, isn't it? It's like there's only so many hours in the day. Like if we have 2 days off a week, say, you're like, well, 2 days off is almost too long to do nothing.
Yeah, but
it's not long enough to like really progress in something else either. But you kind of need to keep your mind active in that time is what I find. But yeah, of course, like the priority is that the sport grows, the sport gets better and it becomes full time because that's what we want for the game.
Yeah. Conversations, I suppose, around, so when you came over here to land at Collingwood and you're playing AFLW, when did then the like idea come to be like, all right, there's time for me to do cross code here, like I want to go play A-League as well? Was that straight away or was it?
Well, it was kind of like the first few seasons I did Gaelic football and AFLW, because the thing about playing for your county at home is like you play for like your community, your family, like it's pride of place. It's all those things. So I had a massive sense of guilt leaving that to play essentially what was a foreign sport to anyone in Ireland. So I found that I always felt guilty to not play for Mayo. So I used to go back and forth between Mayo and Collingwood. And then a couple of years passed and I was like, I still haven't gone back to soccer. I still have an itch to play soccer. So that's when I reached out to Jeff Hopkins from Melbourne Victory and I was like,
So like when you say did you just like
emailed him? Like, just got his email and
I love
just,
this.
you know,
Yeah.
this is the sort of stuff. I'd just be like, go for it. If he doesn't reply, who cares? I kind of leave everything.
You just got his
to,
email and you're like, he's the coach, sorry, was he?
He's the coach,
And
yeah,
you
still the
yeah.
coach. And he, I would do things with this, no worries. Because I'm like, I leave no, I have no expectations with a lot of things I do. So I'll throw loads of things out and see what balls come back to me, kind of thing. And I do that with a lot of things.
Like, you're not disheartened if things don't happen. You just go, this is what it is.
I don't put weight on things. So I'm like, I'll get a few emails of a few coaches in the A-League and I'll send 10 emails and I might get one back. So that's what I would do. And so that's what I did do when it came to the A-League. So I was like, it's professional over here. I haven't played the game. At this point, I hadn't played soccer because I did Gaelic football before I came out. I hadn't played soccer in, I think, something like 6 years. So I was like, why would they give me a professional contract? Like, surely not. But I was like, I'm going to have to do my best work of convincing. As us Irish, we're not bad at it. We are good salespeople. So I was like, this is what I have done before. I was like, can I have a meeting with you? And he randomly said yes. So I went into the Victory office, sat down with him, and I said, basically, I'm an AFLW player, Gaelic player. I've played soccer up until I was 22 and I want to go back to the game. I have no idea where I'm at, but the one thing you will be guaranteed from me is a lot of effort and hard work. And if you don't want to sign me, that's okay, but can you give me the opportunity to train with you for a few weeks? So then when Collingwood ended, I kind of had to go to Collingwood and say, like, I'm going to try this, but like, who knew what was going to happen in those few weeks?
Yeah.
They were kind of like, oh my God, like, what is this going to be like? So I was like, anyway, I was like, just let me do it for a few weeks and just like, we'll see where it goes from there. And so I did it. I turned up to training and the first week I was absolutely terrible. So I put 10 cones out in front of me with the skills coach, Dyl Friends. She played for the Matildas. She was their skills coach and she made me dribble through the cones. And in my head, in my imagination, I was like, this is so easy. Like, I've done this my whole life. Like, give me another challenge. It was what I was thinking. Anyway, 2 left feet going around knocking every cone because I trained myself to be an AFL player. I'd lost my touch and I was terrible. So I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. So then I was like so persistent. I was like every morning before training, I was like to Caitlin, I was like, we need to do like at least 20 minutes of skills before everyone else even gets here. A couple of weeks passed. Jeff was kind of like, I see what you're trying to do, but like you're not doing it. And he goes, I see where your mind is, but your feet aren't doing it. And I was like, oh, don't you worry about it. My self-awareness is high. I'm well aware where I'm at. I go, but just trust me, I'll get there. Few weeks fast, and then he goes, you're actually you're coming now. Like I can see the talent or whatever ability you have. And I was like, I feel like I have no talent left in me here. But anyway, I'll keep going. So then he was like, okay, I'm going to sign you. And then, I debuted for them. And it was a great experience. Like the whole thing, like I remember sitting down with a psychologist before it and we sat with the whiteboard and we were like, it was a big, like not turning point, but a time in my life where I looked at so many elements because I knew that by transitioning, in the back of this, the World Cup was happening. So there was a lot of pressure I felt from maybe the media in Ireland that were putting pressure on the narrative and the story that was like, she's going back to play soccer. She wants to play for Ireland again. She wants to play in the World Cup. And that's what you're doing. And
that was my next bit. Like that was a narrative around going back and trying to play for the Irish World Cup team.
That was the narrative that was made by everyone in Ireland. Yeah. Yes. And the narrative in my head was like, I wouldn't put any limits on myself. So I was like, who knows? Like maybe I might get close to that, but maybe I'm so far off that I just don't know because I was out of the game for so long. So I remember writing down on a whiteboard with the psychologist of like who I needed, what I needed to take in my life, what I needed to take away from my life, who I needed in my life, what were the boundaries I needed, what were the distractions I had, and what I needed to do in a week and what would like a week of success look like. So I kind of like wrote it all out and got really clear.
Repeat that. So you had
So what I needed to do, so it was like email the coach of Victory, whatever, do this. Who I needed. So I was like, I need a strength and conditioning coach from Collingwood and from Victory. I needed both of them so that I could have like, I could transition smoothly. I needed to do, say, yoga once a week. I needed to speak to Daniel Davey, who's a nutritionist at home in Ireland, who's the best of the best. I needed to, my family to be on board. So all the things I needed. Then I looked at all like the boundaries I needed to put up. So like what I needed to change in my life in order to get there. So I was like, okay, I'm a social girl. I love my social life. That's going to need to take a back seat for a while. I was like, how much time am I going to be able to give to friends? So there was a couple of things and a couple of people I had conversations with at the time. And I was like, I'm going to try do this. And it's going to come at the cost of all this. But I'm just giving everyone the heads up that if you think that I'm bit out of action, that I'm like overly focused on something, like this is what I'm trying to do. So I kind of had a lot of conversations like that.
Is that like friends and
family? Yeah. Just because like at times like I find like people are just like, God, like you're never around, you're not available, you're a bit like here, there, everywhere, and like can be inconsistent. So I felt like I kind of needed to explain that to people, and this is why. And I also think that like sport has a limited shelf life. So you're like, while you're in it, you might as well give it everything. And I knew that I had such a challenge ahead of me. So some people took it well, some people didn't. And it was the whole quote, as my mum says, those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind. So I think that was, a big learning for me. And as time goes on, obviously people come in and out of your life. But yeah, so I looked at that from like a real holistic view. Then I looked at a week in my life and what needed to be done every day in the week to get myself closer to success and what I was trying to do. So then when I was at Victory, came to the end of season at Victory, and I was like, there's still 3 months to the World Cup, but whether that's my goal or not, whatever, I'll still put myself in the shop window in case. So I was like, I need to fly home to Ireland. So within the space of 48 hours, I was on a flight to Ireland, and I was moving to a team in Ireland.
And had anyone spoken to you from them at that point, or was it?
I spoke to the Irish coach at the time, and she had said to me, you haven't played soccer in 6 years. You have absolutely no chance, basically. And I said, that's fine. I'll die trying though. And no worries. And it was hilarious. Like I was just like, I kind of felt like that was fuel in my fire. Like, yeah, it gave me more motivation. But I had coaches who coached me at under 19 level and under 17 level, and they were in my year, and they're like, no, you can. And like, this is what you need to do. This is where you need to go. They directed me and helped me go, this is the club that I think will be best suited to you. This is the position I think you should play. And this is what you need in terms of coaching and how you need to improve. So I went to Bohemians, a club in Ireland, and Sean Byrne was the name of the coach, and he coached me when I was younger as well. So he knew me inside out, and I basically trained with his boys team in the morning and then the girls team in the evening.
Wow.
So basically did that for 3 months, played like 15 games in Ireland, and the Irish coach was she was knocking around, and she went to one of my games and she was kind of like, nah, like you're far off it. And I knew I was far off it. Again, I was transitioning into a new team. I was like, I had no chemistry with the girls. And then I started to play well, and then she started to kind of take note. And this was like 4 weeks out from selection of the World Cup squad. And I scored a goal that she sent on to me, and she said, I swallow my words, you're playing well at the moment. So I was like, okay, I'm close. I just need to play well again. And then she messaged me again and was like, I'm going to come to your game this weekend. So I knew that all the pressure was on that game. Then she called me into a camp 2 weeks before the World Cup selection. And then went into the camp, did okay in the camp. And then she said to me, look, she said, you are very, very close. And she said, I can't pick you though. And she said, she goes, you haven't had enough games. You haven't had any experience on the international stage at the moment. And you have, so she's like, I'm going to put you as first emergency, basically. So I ended up being first emergency. And I'm thinking like, then I'm like, Collingwood are like, you need to get back. And I was like, what if someone gets injured and I'm over training AFLW? Then she won't pick me as first emergency. So anyway, I came back to Collingwood. The World Cup happened and I was a spectator. But it was one of those moments where it was like, it was nearly, didn't happen. But throughout the process, I learned so much in that time that I don't take back any risks I took, because it was very difficult, but it was a great experience.
Amazing. I actually knew the result of that. But the way you tell that story, I was like still thinking there was a different ending.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, fuck.
I know. And every time, it was like every time I got close, I'd have a hiccup or I'd play.
Yeah.
Like,
But the Irish team was like, well, how far on did they? Because they beat Australia then, didn't they?
They beat Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, sorry, they drew with Australia.
Drew with Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great experience. Like, as in, it's like,
It's pretty amazing. When's the next one?
is it next year?
Yeah. Would you want to try again?
I don't know. I think like going back to soccer with Central Coast was like, I was just wanted to redeem myself again in the A League. I wanted to play a full season, and so many people were like, the Central Coast will be bottom of the ladder, and then we end up winning it. Everything goes right the whole way for us, and yeah, we win the semi-final in extra time, and we win the final in penalties. So it was just that was an amazing experience as well. I was coached by a girl, Emily Husband. She's now the assistant coach of the Matildas, and she was absolutely unbelievable. One of the best coaches I've ever worked with.
Speaking of the Matildas, and I suppose like the World Cup, it genuinely swept the nation. Like, it was just crazy how much impact that had on the country, and I suppose like everyone watching, and for women's sport in its entirety. What do you sort of like reflect back on that just as a whole? Like, was it something that surprised you how big it was, or was it, just like, how was it for yourself?
Yeah, I think I remember like everyone at Collingwood getting around it. I remember everyone in Ireland, like so many people flew over for it and being like, this is absolutely massive for women in sport. And they really are icons as well over here. Like, I feel like it's bigger than any female sport, I think, the Matildas. So yeah, when I look at them, I'm like, they've done so well to grow the game. But obviously they would like to grow the A-League a small bit more as well, to get players to come back to Australia and play in those leagues as well. But yeah, it's incredible what they've done. Is
that like, that's obviously just money, right? Like,
just money, I
UK
reckon, yeah.
has, with the Premier League, and it's great. It's just it's an amazing game whereby, I've only ever played a game and known a game where it's played in Australia versus like being able to have a vehicle to travel the world. Pretty, like, you must have been to a pretty like jam-packed sort of passport.
Well, I think it's like, that's what I love about it as well. I'm like, world game. I'm like, some of my friends have gone over to play in Italy now. I'm like, some play in the UK. I'm like, that's the opportunity. You can play in the US. Like, so you can travel with it. And I think when I was playing with Ireland, we was in so many random countries, but like, to name a few, Sydney, Norway, Macedonia, Spain, Portugal, Amsterdam.
Where's the most rogue place you've like?
Macedonia was bizarre.
Yeah.
The food was like, I just remember the roads being like all dirt tracks and the pitches being like not properly lined, not properly anything. It just felt like a very poor place.
Yeah.
And then our dinners, we couldn't even eat the food. We didn't know what we were eating. We ended up before a game having to go like, we actually might need to get McDonald's here. And like, that was unheard of in the soccer world because of the way we were so well oiled, and like, it was like nutrition was really important and our diets and everything. And yeah, I remember our coach being like, I think we might need to get McDonald's. It feels like the only safest thing to eat over here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was bizarre.
Far out. Amazing. Yeah, I just can't imagine the ability to use sport as a vehicle to find new adventures, new parts of the world. Like, I still marvel at the fact that you've played like sport in that many different continents and countries. It'd be pretty interesting to put that together. You could get like a map and have like a pins on it.
Yeah, no, it does feel like, but then Australia in terms of anyone in Ireland, they're like, that's the faraway land. Oh my God, what happens over there?
Where's have you done like in Central Australia, like, have you been to like Alice Springs or the NT or anything yet to play there?
I haven't done enough of that, okay. No.
Yeah, no, me neither. Like, that's the three places I seriously want to hit up that, again, I'm really big on this now, is like, instead of travelling outside of the country at the moment, I just want to like nail Australia.
Yeah.
And like go in the middle, like Alice Springs. I want to go up north to the NT, but I really want to go to the Kimberleys, which is like top left, like in between. I think it's on the border of NT and WA, so like right up the top, and it's just like, I've seen videos and photos. My mate who lives up in Port Hedland, which is again up that way of like the mining territory and the water and the ocean up there. Like, I used to go fishing with him heaps, and you'd be out on a boat, and I'm telling you, like the amount of like whales that you would see after they were like seagulls. There's that many of them.
Yeah.
You're just like, this is hectic. Like I'm really biased, but I love Australia, like the coastline. I think it's one of the most magical places, but it's so expensive to travel, so we don't really get to see it as much as you do when you're in Europe. You can just jump on easy flights to like different places.
Yeah, that's the thing. It is like Australia is gorgeous, and I feel like I haven't done enough of it. But like that's the thing. Like our training camps, or even like our end of season getaways, we go to Portugal for a week. Like or we go to Amsterdam for the weekend.
That's probably better than like Surfers Paradise. I
Just
would,
a tiny bit.
I'll admit that, but I still like some parts of here better.
Yeah, true. I think the weather as well is the biggest thing. It's so much more consistent over here.
Is it really? Yeah. What's Ireland like? Like I've actually never been to Ireland. I've been to Scotland, but I've never been to Ireland.
You need to go to Ireland.
Yeah.
It's honestly one of the best places in the world. Like
where are we talking?
Well,
like,
Dublin is amazing.
Dublin? Yeah.
But also I feel like the countryside is so nice, and it's kind of a bit of the unsung hero, like as in people don't compliment it as much because there's not as much happening there. But I think the scenery and everything is amazing, like mountains, like kind of similar to New Zealand in ways, but even prettier, I reckon, in ways. But again, if it has the weather, it's the best place in the world. But when it doesn't, a lot of people find themselves in the pub. That's why there's so many of them in Ireland, because there's not much else to do otherwise.
Sense. When I went to Scotland, it was during the summer.
Yeah.
And we took a train from London to, must have been Glasgow.
Yeah.
And the train ride from London to Glasgow was like the most beautiful train I've ever taken. Like not the train itself, but like the landscape of like looking out the windows and stuff. I just couldn't believe like we're going to like people's paddocks in like in their backyard, and like where the ocean was like meeting the mountains and the green. I was just like, this is hectic. Like it was beautiful.
It is. And like I think when I brought Ruby and a couple of my Australian friends to Ireland, we did a Europe trip for 6 weeks. But in that time, I was like, I bet you Ireland will be your favourite place. And they were all like 100%. It was purely just because of the people, though. Yeah. It's like if you walk into like an Irish bar, it's like as if they're your friends already. So everyone talks, everyone mingles. Whereas I find the pub culture over here so different. Like it's like you go out with the friends that you're out with and
just stick with them.
Stick over there.
Yeah.
Like no one mingles as much. So it's very different that way.
Interesting. Top 3. And I've got 5 fingers up. Top 5 or 3, wherever you want to go. Where would you say like your favourite places to travel from Ireland, like on a weekend getaway?
Well, a weekend getaway. I suppose you can't go far past London. Is obviously a great place to go just for a weekend.
Train or would you drive?
No, you would just get a quick flight.
Okay.
A 45-minute flight.
That's like flying. You can't even fly anywhere here for 45 minutes.
Yeah, like I remember one of my
Avalon.
Yeah. Like I think like places like that, like Liverpool, they're all really like easy to get to. But I think like if I was to say somewhere I'd go for a few days or whatever, it would be like I'd love Lisbon, amazing place.
Is that Portugal?
Portugal, yeah. Obviously Greece is amazing, but you're kind of going there for again 5 to 7 days. Italy is amazing again. You're not going to just do a weekend there, but if you're to go and just go specifically weekends, quick flight, you're going to London, Paris, Amsterdam, Berlin, like those type of places.
That's so cool though, isn't it? It's just crazy.
Yeah, like my sister's been, I think she's had like something crazy, like 9 weddings this year. They've all been in places like Spain, Portugal, Berlin. Like people do their weddings everywhere around Europe as well, even from Ireland. So yeah, it's amazing.
What are you studying at the moment?
So what am I studying?
Yeah.
So well, I'm a qualified teacher.
You've already finished.
Yeah, qualified teacher in...
One's a teacher.
Yeah, I am the biggest fraud ever. There's no way that I should ever be allowed educate the next generation. Not a chance. Kids are like, Miss, I haven't got my homework done. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I just don't. Like, I wish I did, I just don't. Yeah. So anyway, I did that degree because I was thinking, it'd be great to be a teacher. It'd be great to have like that many holidays.
And it's obviously very transferable around the world.
Yeah, exactly. But I couldn't see myself doing it. But then I studied neuro-linguistic programming. So that's probably gibberish to you, but it's all about like conscious, subconscious mind. I've always been really interested in like the sports psychology side of things and stuff.
Yeah, because when we spoke last time, were you going to do psychology as well, or is that?
I have been considering doing that. I have been
Yeah.
considering doing a sports psychology degree, and I don't feel like I'm finished with study. I think there's a time that I need to, like, it's almost like I've explored all my avenues, and I feel like I'm one of those people who kind of consistently needs to study because I need that new information,
Yeah.
or else I need to listen to more podcasts or do something. But I do feel like I need to go into more study. I think the next thing I'll probably do is maybe a course in the personality profile and stuff, just because I think it's really beneficial to teams. And I think having the experience within Gaelic football, soccer and AFL, that, there's similarities between each environment, but like the biggest challenge of all is figuring out how to work with people. And I do think that the personality profile and stuff that Performance by Design do, so I do some work with them, Paul Reeves' company, but I think the work that they do is very insightful to teams, and like it just gets you to understand like why you do things the way you do. Or if you're like, for example, Geordie Allen, say, who's vice captain of Collingwood, she's a very process driven person, so she's like a blue type personality. She needs things done a certain way and it needs to be all kind of detailed, spelt out, whereas I'm like, let's just go. Like, forget about the detail. We just need to go and execute now. Red type personality. So it just makes you kind of understand, oh, that's what she needs, so I'll give her that. And this is the way I need to operate.
It's like love languages, but for like motivation.
Literally.
Or getting shit done. So do you run these courses yourself? And I suppose like 3-part question because I don't want to forget where we were, but you was talking about the course that you were doing, which was... you're looking at doing the
personality profiling stuff. Sorry, I've done the neuro-linguistic
You've
program.
done that, yeah. And then the personality profiling. So because you've obviously played in so many different codes and been around the world and been able to like play in different teams, you're helping that like with corporate and businesses and stuff.
Yes,
Is that sort of how it works?
Yeah. So I'm hoping to do a lot more of that.
Yeah, we can come in here and do it with us. I think Mon would be crying out for that.
Yeah.
Off the top, do you know what I would be?
You are for sure yellow type personality.
What's yellow? Oh.
So you would be yellow and I reckon green. I need to see you in your work environment.
I thought sort of like what you were saying before sounds like me. Like I don't like details.
Oh, you don't like details? Yeah, so the blue type personality, that's the type of personality that I generally struggle with the most as well, because it's like we're going out tonight. This is what happens all the time. And let's say I organise a team night out, and this will give you an example. The girls would go,
where are we going?
Where are we going?
I don't know. We'll work it out later.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's me.
Exactly.
I'm just like, don't worry about
and
it.
Just be at the pub, bring a good attitude, and we're having margaritas will be on the table
and
when
we'll
you get
work
there.
it out. Like
exactly.
Yeah, that's
They're
my.
Like, but Rowie, what are you wearing?
Well, what time? And
what
are you wearing?
What time? And I'm like, honestly, this is Brie particularly. She's like, this is me. What are you wearing? Like, what time? Who's going? I'm like, Brie, it's so irrelevant. Just bring a good attitude. Like, I'll see you in an hour. I have things to do between now and then.
That is exactly I can't deal with that shit. Like, what time? Where is it? What happens after? I don't know.
But
like,
can you sell a story? If you were to get the whole office going out to go, like, we're going on a night out tonight, could you sell them a story to go, this is going to be the best night out? Like, could you be like, excite them for that?
Oh, for sure. Like, if I'm ready to go, like, I need everyone with me.
Yeah, so that would be kind of the yellow type is more like, so if you're, say, planning a party, you might be able to go like, very creative.
I'd never
and
plan
like,
a party though.
No, but you wouldn't plan the party, but you'd be able to sell the story about the party. Like, this is going to be the best party ever because we're going to have whatever. And you could be really descriptive like that. Would you say you're empathetic towards people and you get affected by other people's energy in the office when they're not feeling great? Would you be an empath, would you say?
Mon's laughing at this, but I actually think I am very...
Let's see how his self-awareness is.
I feel like I am... This is actually a really good question because I feel like I am very empathetic, but I'm also someone who I struggle with not progressing. So, like, I'm empathetic to a point, then I'm like, all right, what are we going to do about this?
Yeah, okay.
Like, I need to, like...
Yeah.
I need action from it, which is not like, for example, and this is like with maybe my wife the most, like I've just got to get better at being like, all right, do you want me to listen or do you want me to like come up with a solution? Because like I'm a solution based. Yeah. With empathy, I'm like very like if something's wrong, let's try. What do we do to fix it? Let's try and fix it.
Yeah, instead of sitting in it, you'd be like, what's the point of sitting in it? Yeah, let's just get it done. Yeah, okay, well, that's telling me a bit about you as well. And what about when you were in sport? Would you be like...
I just cried every day, basically.
It sounds like that.
Yeah.
But what about when you were like were you ever like a kind of win at all cost people, or like what was your mentality around kind of getting the best out of yourself? Was it a what do we need to do again?
I think for sport, it's probably an anomaly because I didn't do it very well. Like I've definitely developed since then.
Yeah.
So like I stuffed up a lot playing then. I don't think I even knew what I was doing. But since I've taken those learnings into the next phase, so like with business, which is sort of sport as well, it's very just like solution based. Like let's just get done what we need to do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it sounds like to me that you would be a red type personality and yellow type. So you're generally a mix of both. So I could have like 60% red, 40% yellow, and I can switch between them between my work life and social life as well.
Have you read the book I'm Surrounded by Idiots?
Yes, I have. It's basically that, but it's there's different forms of profiling that you can do. You can do disc profiling.
Yeah.
So I'll send you through what all the colours basically mean.
We should do it.
Yeah, it's such a good exercise.
Yeah.
Because even in a team environment, we did it and we put like. So it was like when you did the test, it was like put the red types over there, yellows over there, greens over there, blues over there. And you'd kind of be in your, say I was red, I was in my group with my red types and I was like looking around me being like, no wonder I clash with these people. Like, because we kind of think the same way. We kind of want the same thing.
So it's not good to be with your same people or you want to balance it?
It's good in a way, but if you have all reds in your team, it's like, you're like,
no
we're
one's
winning.
critically thinking. No one's like,
we're winning.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, yeah, but how? And then the blues are like, yeah, but we need to do this, this, and this. And then the yellows are like, get everyone excited about it. And then the greens are like, but make sure we look after everyone's feelings along the process.
Yeah.
So you have everyone,
that's
a bit of
definitely
everyone, but you need a bit of everyone.
Yeah.
So generally, like the perfect leadership group in ways
Mon's
is one
blue.
of each.
You're blue, aren't you?
Tell me what blue means.
Blue's the
kind of like process driven, like
Yeah.
detail driven. Yeah.
We clash. A lot.
But it's but you need mine
No, we need- yeah,
because
you need a bit of
otherwise
both.
you miss the detail and
Yeah.
then nothing works. So like it starts to make everyone understand that like I need you, you need me, and your way isn't perfect, but our way is perfect.
Yeah, that's really cool. So yeah, you're doing work with this in teams at the moment.
Yeah, and I think in the future, what I'm planning to do is I'm working on my own website at the moment, but planning to do a bit more stuff individually, online, and then in person, because I find
Leadership
it
business
so
coaching.
great. Yeah.
Well, as soon as you have your website, go on www.
Sarah.com.
Sarah.com.
We haven't got it sorted yet.
Just make sure you get that.
Once it does, we'll
make sure you get that
send it
handle
through.
before this podcast. But we will update on what it is, and we will be like I really want to do that with the team.
Yeah, no, I'd love to do it.
Yeah.
As in, I think lots would be learned from it.
It'd be so funny. Like
I'd call you out.
you would call me out so much. Like, and it'd be really interesting with like the team that we have, like me, Zach, and Baldy, who like I'm sort of in business with, or am in business with. We are all so different.
Yeah.
Like it's fucked. Like how different we are, and I think it is actually why we work well together.
Yeah.
But, like it's hilarious.
It's funny when you're selecting that process because you're probably not tactically thinking about they're this type, they're that type, but like a lot of businesses and corporates do, like as time goes on, or even like with players and teams, they're like, oh, this will fit in because of this. Whereas you would have just picked these people and gone like just based off feel, I assume. Or the parts of you that you can't do and they can. Is that kind of why you pick them?
Well, I think it just, I even think about with my wife as well. It was so different, and it complements each other a lot.
Yeah.
In the sense of like, Juz is like very, she'd be blue personality as well. In the sense that she's very organised. Likes things how they are, and then I sort of just go along with whatever, but I don't need plans. I'm happy.
Don't need plans
Like if
either.
she said, I actually had a realization yesterday. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm so keen for anything that like she was like, do you want to move to like down the beach? And I was like, yeah, okay. I don't even need to like think about it. I'm like, yeah, sweet, let's just do it, whatever.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, I don't think we can do it. I was like, oh, fucking hell. Like, you just got me excited. Like, I was ready.
Yeah.
I'd already moved there.
Yeah.
In my head, I was living down there already.
Yeah.
Like, I was pumped. And now we're not.
So then what happens?
Well, then we just don't speak for a couple of days and then we move on. No, but we're staying where we are now. But, it's very, it's fun. I love it. Really love it. Oh, the question I had was, in a team or in a sporting environment or a successful team, is there a colour that you need predominantly of? or like what makes a good team? If that makes sense.
It is a bit of everything.
Yeah.
But I think generally, like, if they were to say some of if we were to generalize, you would say red type personalities are very like there's no excuses. There's no, like, it's just like, I want to get to the top and I don't care. I'm not stopping until I get there. And they're very bullish about their approach.
But then you need the bringing back and bringing forward and pivoting and thinking. Yeah.
And realizing that the red types sometimes like aren't that relatable to others as well, because other people are like, oh, you haven't taken into consideration how that made me feel, and then you're impacting others around you. So
okay, you stop before you start bringing too much stuff up, please. It's starting to hit home on a few points there. Whoa, okay. Yes, no, there are definitely some things I've learned for sure. Empathy's hard.
Self-awareness is key though, really, isn't it?
I would say I'm very self-aware, but empathy is, I think because, how do you say this? Like, I think because like, because I don't ever feel sorry for myself.
Yeah.
I find it very hard to feel sorry
I'm very like that. Yeah.
So I actually have no self-empathy. My empathy for you is better than it is for myself. So whatever I'm saying to someone else, like, I'm harder on myself than I am on anyone else.
Same.
So like, even me showing empathy, like, that's actually me being nice, but I still probably suck at it. Yeah. If that's, like, it's been something I have to get better at. Yeah. Because like, whatever I'm saying to you, it's 15 times worse to me.
Yeah. No, I'd be the same as that as well. But I also am kind of like, when I was younger, I probably been like, I can help solve someone else's problems.
Yeah.
But now I'm realising, like, just everyone has to solve their own problems.
100%.
And you can be there to support as a partner, as a friend, whatever it is. But it's like, sometimes just listening is enough. And then I think going too far with it as well can actually not be that helpful to someone. Then they're kind of reliant on your support and help.
100%.
Like, you often do have to do the work yourself.
Yeah. Emma Murray, I'll never forget, it's one of the best like things she said was around, like, don't rob someone of a learning opportunity. And sometimes maybe it's red personality or whoever it is, you can try and fix people's issues or fix, not issues, but problems, and try and problem solve and come from the best intention. But what you're really doing is robbing them of them working it out themselves and living in it. You know, like, if you look at all the shit things that have probably happened to you, they've all turned out to be a great lesson that you've learned. So realistically, by someone going through something, you know, I think about it with, you know, my wife, I'm going through fertility, or other people going through things. As much as I just want to take that away and be like, I don't want them to have to go through that. Like, it was probably, now that we're through it, they actually learn a lot from it.
Yeah, definitely. Like, what springs to mind for me there is like new Irish players coming over and the challenges that they face, because there's plenty of them going to, you know, moving across the world without their family, without their support, probably feeling quite misunderstood at times. And one or two of the Irish said to me, why didn't you tell me about this? Why didn't you give me the insight on this? And I'm like, because you got to learn it yourself. You got to see it yourself. And you don't need to have my opinions. You need to have your own. So I think it's always kind of like sitting in that space of being like, you always want to help, but you're like, sometimes it's more of a hindrance than a help. To just be like, let people solve their own problems and step back and ask them questions to get there quicker.
Yeah, almost.
That's what I find a lot in coaching.
Curate it.
Yeah.
Not.
It's being like, you know, if I was coaching you now, say, I'd be like, and Dyl, say when you did that in the office or whatever, like, as in, what do you think mom would be thinking at the time? And then she'd be like, she knows that you missed it. And then you're coming up with your own answers. And then, like, I remember coaching a guy before, and he was going crazy with this woman who, he was the CEO of a bank in Ireland. He's going crazy with this woman called Mary, because Mary was working at a slow place. She was 59 years of age, just about to retire. He was driven, wanted to become the highest of high in his career. And Mary used to have a cup of tea at 10, 12 and 2 and not get any work done. And he'd be like, I just want Mary to do the work, as in she needs to do more, like, stop having her cup of tea at 10, 12 and 1. And then he was like, no matter what I tell her to do, she still goes and she's still so relaxed. But I was like, okay, let's talk about Mary for a second. Mary is about to retire. She doesn't really care about her job at the moment. She's not that motivated towards her job. So, like, ask him all those questions. And then I was like, how could we get a bit of a spike out of Mary? Like, what would we do? He's like, I don't know, I'm just sick of her, kind of thing. And I'm like, what's Mary's interest? She loves her kids. I'm like, would you just do one thing for me this week? Would you just ask, how is her kids? And then they go, he went into the next week and I said, that's all you need to do for the week. Like, that's all the learnings. Goes in and goes, Mary, how's your kids? She's like, great, blah, blah, blah. And I said, and then ask her, can she just stay an extra hour late? Could she have one less cup of tea? And he was like, Mary was great this week. And I was like, why? Because he connected with her. And, you know, it's all those little things that you don't realise that people get so frustrated with. But it's like finding out what someone else is thinking and then being able to help support so that you can work better together. But yeah, best advice my dad ever gave me is when you're talking to someone, realise, step into their shoes first before you kind of jump down their neck about something.
Yeah. No, it's such a great point. Such a good learning. Like, honestly, yeah. Yeah, it's really real. Like, I think everyone listening to this is probably reflecting on themselves of like that situation, because like I think unless you're good at it, it does take work to be able to like pick it up, because you know, you sometimes when you are red color or whatever you are, you're like the character of your own story, right?
Yeah.
So like everything is revolving around you, which is the wrong way to think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's probably been a hard one for me, like as a team mate and a leader in a business, to like, you know, I know how much I love working with everyone, and you just assume they think that you know that, but unless you actually like tell them, it's hard to know.
Yeah, definitely. You never know where
I said
people
thanks to Mon. Remember I called you and I said thanks?
You did. He always does this though. He calls me. We chat for like 10 minutes about work and stuff. And he goes, I was like, all right, see you later. He goes, oh, just wait. I was like, what's up? And so yeah, he's like, oh, just want to say thank you. Okay, see you later. Bye. I'm like, why? It's so awkward.
No, I just want to say thank you for all the heart. You've done a great job.
No, I did appreciate it. That was nice.
But I was like, I've hung up that call, and I was like, that was fucking weird. Like, I think she knew what she's doing is great, but maybe she didn't.
Yeah.
So,
It's always nice to hear.
Yeah.
It is always nice to hear.
Yeah, definitely. Do you need those words of affirmation? Does anyone tell you that you're good to work for? Is he?
Jeez, this is a really timely episode, isn't it? But no. Do I need those? I don't think I do.
Do you know some people
and
like...
I haven't got them, so it probably isn't. Maybe it's not the case.
Yeah. Okay, no, but like it's more like some people are like, I'm probably more like, yeah, words mean a bit, but if there's too many of them, I'm like, actions speak louder than words. Just show me, don't tell me.
Yeah, probably more of the latter. Just
yeah.
I think for me, I never want, like with work and sport and whatever it is, I just never want to. I like to keep things pretty like level, just in the sense of like, let's just all fucking work as hard as we can and have fun while we do it. But then I think in doing that, or lack of communication, sometimes you forget that we're all just human and we want to have fun and do stuff as well. So it's probably I think we've got a bit to work on, to be honest, you and I.
We do. There's so much to be said for just having an optimistic view on life, because I think life does need to be light and like not sweating the small stuff and not taking everything seriously. Like, and I think that's what I've always learned from my parents. Like at times when I get into those states of mind, because we all do, we're only human, but they're just like, stop being so serious. Like it's not, none of this matters really. Like nothing matters other than really like life or death, I think. And at times it's like we can get caught up in all those small things that happen day to day in business or work. And it's like, it's actually doesn't matter.
Hey, love that.
It's great to chat.
No, seriously, it was. What I would actually really love to do is when you develop your website and your course, or what's it called?
Coaching.
Yeah. That's the word. When you develop that coaching, let's come in here and do it on the pod.
Yeah,
and then we can give it. We'll do a giveaway.
Yeah.
I'll pay for it. We'll do a giveaway to someone in the network.
Yeah.
You can go to their business and do it.
Amazing.
Would you be happy with that?
Would love it. Yep.
I might give it away to myself as well here. But no, I think it's been really interesting. Not just your story, but that stuff as well. It's been absolutely fascinating. So love it. I've actually got that book, is why I'm Surrounded by Idiots.
Yeah.
Not that I think that, but I got recommended that book and I'd read like half of it. And it just made me think I want to go back and finish it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think when you put those, when you look at the profile colours, but then you put them into real life stories, it makes it, I think that's the thing with Irish people. I'd like to tell stories throughout the colours
Yeah.
versus just being like, here's the colours, this is what they do. I'm like, yeah, but attach
The storytelling's
things to
the
it.
great part to it.
Yeah,
for
because
sure.
then it's you actually engage people and they listen.
Yeah. Sarah Rowe, you're a star. Thank you so much. Hey, great to catch up. And yeah, please let us know when you have progressed the coaching course and we will link back up again and get it done. But make sure you follow Sarah on socials and we'll have all the links in the show notes. And if you want to get her involved with your business immediately, make sure you hit her up on socials.
Sarah Rowe 123 on Instagram.
How'd you come up with 1, 2, 3?
Oh, look, it was just when I was a kid. And it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I said, that's too long.
You had to cut it back a
and
bit.
now it's just
1, 2,
there.
3.
It's stuck.
Yeah. It's great. Well done. Make sure you hit it up. We'll link in the show notes. Good on you, Mon.
Thank you.
Go on,
Get down
Sarah.
to a few games as well. Or,
Yeah. I'm not a massive supporter of the Collingwood team. I'm a
Rude.
navy blue and a GWS giant.
Yeah.
So I'll come. I just won't be able to cheer.
Yeah, well, you can cheer for individuals, surely.
It's team sport.
Yeah, it is.
So teams away, it'll stay. But what's the goals for the year? Obviously, winning a flag would be nice. But it's sort of funny because it's early in the season, but it's also not a long season. So you sort of get a gauge pretty quickly if you can get there.
Well, we're already a quarter way through the season, which
Yeah.
is hard to believe. So we're going into round 4 this week against North Melbourne,
Who are top of the
top
label.
of the ladder. Yeah, and
Jazzy
the best
Garner,
of the best.
6-31.
Yeah, she's
weeks, so that's
incredible. So
pretty good.
yeah, so we're coming
You
up
had
against
26 on the
it.
weekend too, though. You rack them up.
Oh, I don't know about that, but we are. I think the biggest thing for us at Collingwood at the moment is just improvement and
Yeah,
improving
the
on
Collywobbles.
last season. Yeah, we last year wasn't our very best season, but I think there has been signs of improvement.
Yeah.
And I think it's just week by week for us.
Cool. Very cliche, but
Yeah,
good
of
on
course, of
you. We'll
course.
move on. Hey, best of luck for the rest of the year. Congrats on everything to date. Very excited for the next phase and Huru Guru.
Thank you, Dyl.
Cheers.